It started like any other day. The train was packed, as always, bodies swaying gently with the rhythm of the tracks, headphones in, eyes glued to phones, no one speaking. Everyone lost in their own world. I was one of them. It was a Tuesday. Rain tapped on the windows like a quiet warning. The city outside blurred into streaks of gray and gold. I'd been having a rough week. Life had felt unusually heavy, not because of one big thing, but a series of little ones. Small heartbreaks, missed calls, a silence I hadn't asked for. I was grieving quietly, the kind of grief that doesn't always have a name, just a weight in the chest. And then I saw her. She was sitting directly across from me, clutching a worn leather book, not reading it, just holding it like it meant something. Her eyes were tired, the kind of tired that doesn't come from lack of sleep, but from holding things in too long. We caught each other's gaze for a brief second. Most people look away. She didn't. Neither did I. It wasn't a smile she gave me, not exactly. More like an acknowledgement, like she saw something in me that mirrored what she was feeling. Something unspoken. Some shared ache. I didn't mean to say anything. But I did. "Is that your journal?" I asked, instantly regretting breaking the silence. She looked down at the book and nodded slowly. "It was my sister's," she replied. "She used to write poetry in it. I carry it with me, even though I haven't read most of what's inside." Something cracked inside me. I had lost someone too. Not a sibling, but someone who felt like home. I didn't say that out loud. Not yet. But something in that moment shifted. We kept talking. Not loudly. It was the kind of hushed conversation you have when the rest of the world is asleep. She told me her name was Mira. Her sister, Lila, had passed away 2 years ago. A drunk driver. A phone call in the middle of the night. She said the hardest part wasn't the loss itself, but the way the world just kept going. Everyone expects you to get over it. Move on. Smile at strangers. Pretend you're okay. I told her I understood. Not long ago, I had lost someone I loved deeply too, a friend who had been my anchor in stormy seas. He had been my constant. And suddenly he was gone. That was the first real conversation Mira and I had. It lasted just 2 train stops. But it was the start of something that would change both of our lives. We began seeing each other more, on purpose, not just by chance. We'd meet at that same bench at the train station, not to ride anywhere, just to talk. She brought tea once. I brought a photo album I hadn't opened in a year. We shared everything, our grief, our anger, our guilt. But also stories, laughter, music, art. We created a space where it was okay to feel deeply, to miss someone out loud, to be messy and real. There was one day I'll never forget. She brought her sister's journal. We sat in silence for a few minutes before she opened it. Her voice shook as she read a poem. It was about stars and silence and the spaces we carry inside us. When she finished, she looked at me and said, "I never thought I'd share that with anyone." I didn't say anything. I just reached out and held her hand. Over time, Mira became the person I texted first when something beautiful or painful happened. When I got the job I'd been hoping for, she was the one who cheered the loudest. When I broke down after hearing our song in a cafe, she was the one who reminded me that healing doesn't mean forgetting. Our friendship wasn't built on surface-level things. It was built in the quiet moments, in the hard conversations. In the spaces where most people look away, we looked closer. There's this one memory that stands out even now. It had been a year since our first meeting. We sat again at that train stop bench, this time under the warm light of early evening. She gave me a gift, a small silver pendant, engraved with the initials of both the people we had lost. She said, "They brought us together. Maybe that's their legacy." I cried. We both did. This story isn't about romance. It's not about fate. It's about friendship, the kind that sneaks up on you when you need it the most. The kind that heals quietly without needing to fix anything. Mira reminded me that connection is everywhere, if we're open to it. That grief doesn't have to isolate us. Sometimes, It brings us to the exact person we need. And to this day, whenever I pass that train station, I sit on the bench for a few minutes. Just to remember. To listen for the echoes of that first conversation. And to whisper a thank you to the universe for placing a stranger in my path who became my closest friend.